Hey, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on when and where you're listening to this. This is Coffee with Kevin. Yeah, we're a bit late today. We're expecting, I knew I couldn't do it at 9, and then I expected to do it at 10, and now it's even later. So I apologize to all of you out there listening to this that it's come this late. But you need to, when things happen, you need to be able to be ready to pivot. And that's what we're talking about today is pivoting. But before we get into this, it is March 24th. Yes, we're almost through March. Can you believe it? One more week of March and we're through it. Oh my goodness. First quarter done of the year. It is going faster than I wanted it to. But it's been enjoyable. It's been lots and lots of things happening. And today, especially today is National Cheesecake Day. Not cheese day, not cheesecake, cheesesteak day, National Cheesesteak Day. So if you're looking for something to do for lunch, get a cheesesteak. It's also National Chocolate Covered Raisin Day. Oh my goodness. Yes. Well, hopefully this is Coffee with Kevin. And this is my coffee. And I am Kevin. I'm Kevin. I'm a hypnotherapist. I am an author, a trainer, speaker, and all sorts of cool stuff. I am here. We've gone to almost, wow, well over 6 years doing this every single week. And I just bring a little something different. And today we're talking about pivot. Today we're going to be talking about do you have to sometimes make changes midstream? This morning, well, actually yesterday, I thought for sure this was going to be okay this morning. And yesterday I was told that I needed to help someone, bring someone to the doctors in the morning, and it was going to go through this. And so I had something prepared, but I knew I at first thought, okay, I'm going to do this on the road and I'm going to change the time so I know that I'm going to be able to do it. And it just didn't work out. So I had to be able to pivot. And sometimes we are all in that mode where we need to change and pivot. Now, first of all, the first thing I want to tell you about pivot was the fact that I hated that word when it first started being used by companies. It's like, okay, I heard one company talk about it, then I heard everybody else is talking about, oh, you got to learn how to pivot, instead of just change direction, because that's all it is just changing. And so, pivoting means, okay, you're going in one direction, and all of a sudden, for one reason or another, you just got to change it. Sometimes you change it radically, sometimes you change it a little. When we had COVID back, it's boy, back 5 years ago now, six actually, it's 2020. We never thought we'd get that behind us, but we did. And a lot of people had to pivot, a lot of companies had to pivot, a lot of medical staff had to pivot in the way they were working, the way they were taking in patients at hospitals, and just, the whole world had to pivot back then. And so, yeah, we have to change sometimes with the change out of necessity. Sometimes we have to change because it's not working for us. Sometimes we have to change because we want to go in a different direction. So we pivot for all sorts of different reasons. So let's see what we got today for our quotes, because I love to work off the quotes and hopefully they've been updated and they're ready for me. Let's find out. The first one, flexibility turns obstacles into options. This is a great reframe. When you're talking about needing to be flexible, because you need to be flexible to be able to pivot, right? So you need to be flexible. And this one says, okay, flexibility turns obstacles into options. And it's true. The more flexible you are, the more you have the ability to find options, to get options and opportunities. Pivot early, pivot smart, pivot often. Pivot early, pivot smart, pivot often. Oh, that's an interesting. These are a few statements I got without authors, so I don't know who said that. Adjust the method, not the mission. Here's another way to look at things. Sometimes you just need to make an adjustment. You need to make a pivot, but your overall mission, which may be to serve people, you're just doing it a different way. It may be to make money, and which is a lot of us do. You're just doing it in a different way, right? Sometimes we pivot in careers. My son had been in the food business for many, many years, and he knew it wasn't going to work out for him in the long run, and so he pivoted and became a corrections officer, and that is starting to work out for him. He's making a smaller pivot now. Looking for something a little different in what he's doing. The same thing, being a corrections officer, but different things that they can do, and different training he's going to need. So, some people wouldn't call that a pivot. Maybe escalating, maybe evolving. But yeah, he's doing it. Okay. A pivot isn't a failure in direction. It's a refinement of understanding. So some people think if they have their pivot, they have failed, and it's not. And I love this reframe. It's refinement and an understanding. And lastly, a ship in a harbor is safe, but it's not what ships are built for. Wow, where did I get this? This might have been last week's for that I had left over. Let's see how I can let's see how we can talk about this as a pivot. A ship in a harbor just sitting there is very safe, but until it actually has a direction and starts doing something, starts moving out, which is a bit of a pivot, right? No, that this quote definitely came from last week. I figured I'd try to build it into this week's. Anyway, I'm talking about being flexible. I'm talking about your ability to change when needed. A lot of people resist change, so they don't pivot when they need to. They don't change when they need to. The person who is more flexible than others usually has more opportunities, usually actually has more control. You think of pivoting, you sometimes think, oh, you're not in control. You couldn't stay on course. No, you are in control. You're actually changing course. So think of it that way. When you change, when you pivot, you are in control. You're in more control. All right. This has been Coffee with Kevin. We're a little late today, and I apologize, but I want to absolutely salute you. Have a wonderful day, have a wonderful week, and you know for certain that it's not my wish that's going to make it so. It's your wishes, it's your behavior, you are in control of making it wonderful. All right, take care, all. Bye bye.